This time on Blake Builds. In this week's episode, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Warm enough for you?
The boys go insane with the membrane. And Ollie goes insane in the brain.
Well, welcome back. You've joined us at an opportune moment. As you can see, I'm a bit hoarse still, so I'm still not 100%, but I'm back at it. We are on the service yard, another episode on the service yard. Anyone would have thought it was a big job. So, as you can see, we've put our curbs round, which you will have already seen us doing that, I'm sure. Boys did a great job in my absence, although I've done a bit up there with them. Believe it or not, this depth is our attenuation. There's more attenuation in this. So we've now got to plastic line this basically like a pond and backfill it with 420 aggregate, which is an open aggregate, means it's got no fines in it and will actually hold water. And then there's this big trench which is actually like a sump, and all the water will run to that, run into here and run away. The idea is that basically when there's heavy rain downpour, it will actually pool in here and slowly drain out through an orifice control valve, which is basically an old. And it's 46 mil. So all the water from this whole area is going to go out through just a 46 mil hole. It's amazing, isn't it? There's perforated pipe in here, which we'll get to in a bit. But we have to weld and join this membrane together using a very fancy tool, this membrane welding machine. And it's the same technology that they use to cap landfill sites. So believe it or not, when all your rubbish goes to landfill, as that rubbish breaks down, it makes methane gas, and they actually cover the whole thing in plastic so that they can capture the gas, and then they run generators of it, which generates electricity rather than it going into the air. So it's a similar type of thing, a bit like a giant pond liner. So we're going to line this to hold the water in it and then control the flow from it. Easier said than done. This roll weighs about 200 kilos. So while it looks nice and lovely, it's an absolute nightmare for manual handling trying to move it about. So we have to keep strapping it, lifting it, moving it. The biggest issue is it's like it all bunching up. So we've got a manhole that's going to go in here, which is just there, and that's going to drop down in there, but it needs to be encapsulated inside the plastic. So we've got to weld two bits together, push that down in it, and then weld a bit to go up the trench, which you'll see us do. Wish us luck.
$540.
Yeah, it's what it was set to last time, isn't it? That was folded like that, and then the other piece on top, wasn't it? But yeah, we've done the training and everything, and I can't remember now. And then it was that and that, and try pulling that apart.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. We're going to go to here so a little bit further, aren't we? Back there. How are we going to get a nice straight line then? Cut.
Use the edge of the roll. Where's Evan when you need him? This sort of thing is an Evan job, isn't it?
Grab your legs and pull you along?
Yeah, good do.
Cameraman needs to be stood where I am.
No, he does.
That's the money shot over here.
No, he does not. Oh my God, you should see how weavy it is. Marco, if you're watching this, yeah, not good, not a great idea. Put that one in the middle like we do when we pick steels up, and you just touch it to the balance point.
Yeah.
Then we'll pick it up.
Sure thing.
Can't do it without folding it, can you? Let's pull this up here like the trench piece.
Yeah.
And have it sit in it and just have a look at how that looks, shall we? Right, you just stand on that edge. I'm such a child. When do you pull it that way?
Did that hurt?
No, that's fine.
And now to Evan with the detail.
So, detail of
Mission
what we've got
control.
Yeah, mission control. I've got a new screen and now I can see everything. So I can plug into the matrix. So, you'll have seen this drawing before on the last couple of episodes, I think, where we've been doing a bit of concreting. And we explained a little bit about how we make up the ground underneath the concrete, where we've got the layers of the different things, the membranes and the hard core and the reinforcement. Well, we've got the same thing for these cellular pavers here. There's a predetermined value that we've calculated by having those CBR plate tests done to see how stiff the ground is, and that calculates how much hard core is required in order to be able to run a HGV over these pavers. And you can see that it's built up in layers. So we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. You've got this impermeable membrane, a 0.6mm high density polyethylene impermeable geomembrane. So this is a slightly different attenuation system here. They've got crates and we're achieving exactly the same thing, but instead of having the voids in between bits of plastic, it's in between bits of gravel. And we weld all that together, and then on top of there we've got this 30 by 30 soil stabilisation grid. This is all of our aggregate here. And this coarse graded aggregate type 420 essentially means that it's pieces of granite from 4mm up to 20mm, and it gets graded, so it's through a massive sieve at the quarry. And this is the spec sheet for it. So they allow, these are the sieve sizes, and they allow certain sizes to go through. On top of that goes this Taram that I was telling you about, the Geotextile Taram. And that acts as like a big blanket essentially to contain all of the aggregate or anything that's sat on top of it and spread the load out. So you can have significantly less, you require significantly less material on top of a bit of geotextile like that than you would if you were putting it directly onto the clay, because the bits actually sink into the clay and don't act as well, whereas this spreads the load out. So that will go on top of the aggregate, and then on top of that goes the 20mm blinding layer of sand, on which we will then bed these cellular pavers. So the product is here, it's called CellPave HD, and this is directly from the Groundworks website, actually, the people that we bought them from. So these pavers are what we've got on site. This is the curb edging, and this is pretty much how it's going to look, apart from the curves will be the other way around. And then in between the grids, we'll brush this aggregate, which will bind it all together and make a nice finished surface, a nice permeable surface for all the surface water to go through. Hopefully, not have any problems.
He's just showing his new big screen up.
I am really.
It is a beautiful screen.
It's great, isn't it?
That's a good illustration.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. That's exactly what we're doing.
Something like that, basically. And then, in fact, this is good because it shows you the concrete makeup underneath the curbs. That's similar to what we've got, although we've put a load more concrete in.
Yeah. We didn't bother with the hardcore, did we?
This is no, not really. And this is the soil stabilisation grid. We've got an extra layer here underneath because we don't want any water escaping out. We want it to be all attenuated within that tank that we're creating. So,
because we want to stop any of the hydrocarbons or any nasties sinking into the ground.
it's all petrol and
It's
all
all
the...
about the environment, Duck. It's all about the environment. You may have seen us all scratching our heads yesterday when we were looking at how we're going to go around this manhole. As with a lot of things in life, have a cup of tea or leave it overnight and problems solve themselves. And we've come up with a solution. So basically I've hand welded it this morning with our hot air gun and the roller up. So we're going to exclude the manhole from it. We're going to concrete round it and basically encapsulate it with the plastic in a different way, which you'll see us do anyway. Thoughts on this? Oh my God, it's hard work. This project is amazing really because some things are really easy. Some things that you think are going to be easy are hard, and things that you think are going to be hard can be easy. It's really weird and doesn't seem to make any sense really sometimes. But positivity and perseverance always get you through, don't they? I'm sorry I'm a bit croaky still. I've still not got rid of my cold, I can't believe it. And on my, I've been struggling. I was going to say on my arse, but that's not very YouTube friendly, is it? But no, smashing it today. Really excited to get a bit of this 420 high flow, super flow in, and start and see this. It's going to be a really obvious and interesting transformation come. So there we go. So here we are doing a wonderful job of joining the membrane that goes underneath our attenuation in the yard. We're using a Leicester, what's it called, a 20 in it, T720. Yeah. So it's actually crushing the material together. It's got a Newton gauge on it, so it's actually crushing them at 500 newtons. Newtons is kilos if you knock the zero off, so it's 50 kilos of pressure pushing them together. And then this hot air gun is actually blowing hot air in between the two layers, and it's been squashed together, and it's been driven as well at the same time. Relatively straightforward and easy to use once you get it set up. But in site conditions is quite difficult. Good weather today. It gives rain next week, so we're trying to do all this week before the rain comes. Another cool bit of kit. We're not quite as excited about this as we were the bow mat, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good bit of kit. You just have to keep it in line, keep it straight, keep it going. 540 degrees is what it's actually, hot air's coming out at. And it's melting the 2 layers of plastic together for a permanent fix, basically. It's as strong as the material itself is. Just takes a few cowboys to wrestle it. You would come at the bit where it's all bunching up funny, wouldn't you? So there you go. As you can see here, look, got the cage on the top, and then it's actually feeding in along there. The bottom one is tucked underneath. You can see the hot air is pinched in between it, and then the rollers at the front. Those rollers are knurled, so they've actually got a pattern in them, which enables them to be crushed up together.
How's that back edge looking?
Yeah, beautiful. Go down and boom in a little bit.
Toes on
I have
YouTube.
to sign you up to a BIR OnlyFans and do a feet thing. Ladies, if you're interested in these feet, do
It's £10 a month.
DM
Get a new toe each weekday.
the BIR OnlyFans. So you know when something, this is a perfect example of how something theoretically is a great idea and then the actual execution of it is completely different. And this is something I've been dreading right from the very beginning, to be honest. And we wanted to do it in the summer, but you can never, you never always manage to do that. So we're putting a plastic underneath. You can see over there that we've got our trench in already. There's a trench behind us, but it's stretched over it at the moment. We're racing, it gives snow tomorrow, tonight, certainly rain. So we're racing to try and get that done. We've welded this, which you've already seen us use the £12,000 welding machine, which I can't quite believe is 12,000 quid. But it's only £450 a week to hire. So there we go.
But there's only 4 in the country, so.
Yeah, not many about to hire anyway. So yeah, but it makes light work of that. 2.3 meters a minute we were doing there. So now the job is to try and get this clean again, ready to join the next sheet. Which should be relatively easy actually.
Well, we've just got to clean this off, haven't we, so that the welder doesn't get chopped up full of clay.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this. We can lay the next sheet here.
Oh, that's a good idea, to fold on.
Exactly the same as that one. And then we can weld it down there. All we've got to do, because we've got to clean that side.
Oh, you only need to clean that side then.
Just got to clean the top.
And that's why you're the boss.
I don't know about that. A clever man wouldn't be out here in his socks and you with your feet out.
Ollie's now got wet and dirty socks. So when it comes to put his boots back on, his feet will be cold. I went for the option of saving the socks, but the short-term pain of having cold and wet feet, so.
So that's an example that the plastic is stuck.
I was levitating, mate. I wasn't walking on past it. What was Evan saying last week? Something about hidden trenches.
Oh dear. That's funny. Hello, mate. Hollywood, it's the first time I've stuck it to it and you're right there.
The old close up.
Yeah? Same.
Right, you're not mic'd up. We can't hear all that swearing.
Have a thumbs up.
Afternoon, all right.
All right.
Warm enough for you?
Oh, only just.
Yeah. So we've had a load of snow overnight, which typically would happen when we've started to dig the rest of the service yard off, and we've put all that membrane down, which we really wanted to keep dry and clean. So it snowed. So makes sense. That's usually what happens. Something goes wrong when we decide to start something, but it's fine. We've worked around it. You can see that blue mark on the floor. That's basically the junction between the impermeable part of the service yard, which is the concrete, and the permeable side, which is the cellular pavers. This Celpave HD paving solution. So I've used a spot man to mark out every metre or so, and then they've pinged a string line in between to get it nice and square, sprayed it out on the floor, and exactly what we've done here with these pin curbs, these curbs on the edge of this part of the loading bay, they're going to do where that blue mark is, except this time we're going to use some steel. We're going to use 6mm thick steel. It's 300mm deep. It comes in 6-metre sections. And we're going to use that to make some forms, make some shuttering, very similar to what we had on the sides of these loading bay sections, except we're going to make them ourselves, and we're going to bend it round on a radius. It's been a while since I've driven the Gator, actually.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been in it.
Got a bit of a roadblock coming up by the looks of it. So I'm just off to show you these cellular pavers that I keep banging on about. We've had loads and loads of them delivered, and actually this isn't all of them. I've postponed the order ever so slightly, but here they are. Pallets and pallets.
Oh my god, I had no idea these were here.
Yeah, tons of them. So we put them up out of the way because, I mean, you can see how many there are.
Yeah.
Pop out, I'll show you. So this is what's going to go on top of the permeable area of the service yard. And these are rated for HGVs to run over. A really, really solid product. Got them from a company called Groundworks. So we had them come out and meet us and show us the product, send us some samples. And they're made out of recycled plastic. You can kind of see all the little bits in them, you know. And it's kind of in fitting with what we're trying to achieve on the project. You know, use recycled materials where we possibly can and sustainable building practices. There's another product that's very, very similar that we had a look at to start with, but I did some research and they were based in Germany and they were a bit more expensive. These are manufactured here and distributed from this country, so lower carbon footprint, lower embodied carbon, recycled product. It's a good bit of kit. Probably, I'd say it's probably the same amount of money to do this than it would be to concrete in the end. Probably a bit more time and effort to do this. There's a massive manual handling element. These pavers obviously have to be laid by hand. It will make everything so much easier, you know. There'll be no more pumping out like we have to do every single day at the moment, because the drainage system will be up and running. It'll keep the whole site cleaner and it'll look really good on YouTube, so which is obviously the most important thing now.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, that's it. Right, let's get going.
Whoa. Hello, Mr. Blake.
Hello, Mr. Newbold.
It's been a while since we've done a little walk around together.
I know.
So here we are.
Welcome to our swamp.
Biblical amounts of rain, was it?
Biblical, yeah. I don't know, Mother Nature's always out for you, isn't it? It must be funny being in the profession of meteorology, mustn't it? You know, like, we're trying to predict the weather. And it's obviously very unpredictable at the moment, because I'm going to be kind and say it must be unpredictable at the moment, because they're not very good at it, are they? They only seem to be able to do the day almost. Yeah. Like last week we looked and it was going to rain all week, and now it's all right. Now go on here, it's a bit slippy. So you can actually see that our attenuation in here is already working. So this trench is already full of water.
Wow.
So you can, in that gravel, look, it's actually full of water already. We're still on our petrol pump at the moment. Oh yeah, that's full as well, look. Wow.
Trials and tribulations of filming on a construction site.
Oh, look, you've got a dirty muff. You don't want to get your muff dirty, do you? Christ. First rule of anything is to keep your wind muff clean.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Oh, thanks, mate. I'll clean her up inside, probably.
We've got a bit of water.
Yeah, have you? You got some available?
Going in. Oh, it's deeper than my boot.
Oh, God. Watch your head on the way up.
Watch me drop mine in.
Oh, this will forever be the muff cleaning manhole from now on.
Oh, you know what?
Go on.
The bloody boot's got a hole in it.
I think I had that this morning.
Oh.
Yeah, I found the trickle.
I put my boot in the water, haven't I? And it's... Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
What a Monday it is. Oh dear. So we've got to dig all this off. This looks horrendous at the moment. We've actually left 200 mil on here for this exact reason, is that, you know, this is like a sacrificial layer. So when we actually come right to the very end, we'll scrape that off back to the finished height. Nice. So it looks a lot worse than it is. We've got 3 manholes to put in here, but they're almost at the surface. They're only down a little bit from the surface. They're actually level, and they've got permeable pipe in it, and the idea is that it collects the water that drains in here. So the way to think of it, which we've already covered, I'm sure, I know we have, But this is basically like a giant pond, but just filled with gravel, and you drive on it.
Yeah.
That's it basically.
Yeah.
So this pipe work is enabling the water to go down to there, through that interceptor, to that tank, and then be pulled away. But the idea is that it will attenuate in there, so it will gather in there.
So what does the placement of 3 new shallow manholes give you that can't just run off into this deeper trench that you've already...
In a flash flood event, it needs to be able to move away.
Right.
And also, in time, it could well be that the attenuation starts to silt up. So you need to have a form of moving it.
Right.
I made that up on the fly, really. To
Well,
me,
you
it doesn't make any
convinced me.
sense having them, really. It should go through that gravel and go to that trench, and it should all go out that trench. It's another rake of expense.
That was
But
one for the engineers, was it?
I'm sure there's a logical explanation to why we would need to spend literally thousands of pounds on having manholes and more perforated pipe. But there's logic there.
There's logic there.
I just can't see it, I'm sure.
I love that.
Yeah, these ones are slightly different to the other ones. These are literally almost at surface height, just in the attenuation. And in fact, we've got to dig a little trench in because they act like a sump, basically, to drain off the ground. So the plastic is going to go over this next, which is a little bit different to how we did the other stuff, if that makes sense, because we excluded the manholes from it last time, didn't we, and plastic round them, if that makes sense. Whereas this time we're actually going to leave the manholes in it and plastic underneath them, basically, and encapsulate the whole thing. But I'm just pulling this off level, or close to level. Won't be perfect, but it'll be pretty good. He says as he takes a big 3-inch chunk off.
Close to Big Oprah. Oliver.
So here we are digging again on top of the pile. Mr. Benjamin Cora over there. You can see. So I've got it in my pouch. I've got a little pouch with the kit in. And yeah, so we are atop. I'm about to give up here. Right down. And we're going to go and level off a bit of ground. We have been loading out together. Ben's been doing it with the dumper and I've been loading him. Loading our 420. Yeah. Clean, almost like gravel, but it's granite. I've not left that digger in a particularly good spot, have I? Getting carried away with the camera, that's what the problem is.
Come towards me a bit. Okay, put it down slowly. And stop there. Yep. Down she goes.
So welcome back to Oli Blake doing another task. Not that I'm a jack of all trades, master of none, I think is the term, isn't it? Everybody uses. So I'm going to attempt to stick this together with a bit of stick welding. I'll give that a tap off. I blew it away in the last one. Let me just put a tack on the very top there, just to... For a bit more then?
Yeah, man. Around your side, yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, keep going round. Oh.
Let me go the other side first.
Yeah, go. Yeah. About there. Yeah. Good job we didn't have another 8 cube, innit?
Oh, it swung, it wasn't me.
Yeah. Keep going down that side, man. Lovely.
Do you want more on the end or do you want me to wait a minute?
Just wait a minute, mate. Please. Bit more just on this end, Ollie. That'll do it, I think. Just tickle.
On the far side?
Yeah, just down here only a little bit.
Next time on Blake Builds.
It's beginning to look a lot like concrete.
More ultra flow. Yay!
We're actually laying these pavers now on the service yard. Holly's plan is to use the forks, just like we did with the swale, to pick the pavers up, and then we'll take them off the pallets and lay them down as we go.
Today we're working on the service yard and tomorrow we'll be working on the service yard.